Hi, I'm Robert, and welcome back to another chilly edition of the High Desert Ranch channel. It's a special Thanksgiving edition, and there's just a few things I wanted to share that have been on my mind that might just bring you a little hope and comfort, and hopefully some Thanksgiving gratitude this Thanksgiving season. So come along and join me, only here on the High Desert Ranch channel. Beautiful eagle. Probably couldn't see it very well. But that's one of the things I love about coming down here is you're just kind of out. It's just you, your thoughts, cows, and nature. So it's a balmy 15 degrees this morning down here in the river bottoms, and I'm coming to help supplement the cows a little bit. The old timers always had a saying that if you could feed after Thanksgiving, you were doing pretty good. And considering it's right at Thanksgiving, I think I'm doing pretty good. But really, I'm just going to be doing a little supplementation. I've got some older hay from actually 2 years ago that I'm going to give to the cows. We have had a little bit of snow here in the valley, which has been good because, as you'll see, some of this dry grass that's edible has been made more palatable by the fact that the rains and now the snows have come and softened up this grass, so it makes it a little bit more desirable for the cows to want to munch on. So anyways, I'm just down here to check on them. It's been a few days. I want to make sure that they're all doing well, and yeah, so they're driving along, but there they are. At least there's two of them. Hopefully there's more. Or this video might be a lot different than I anticipated or even planned on. Like some of the guys have pulled off their cows. The neighbors to the north, they've kept theirs here on their piece of ground. I was getting a little concerned because I couldn't see them, but then I realized they're bedded down. They're kind of bedded down. There's a little drop in the rise, but I love it. For being in the high desert, we're usually really dry, but we had a storm that came through, and we've got another storm that's scheduled to come in, drop a few inches of snow. But I just love this time of the morning. You can see the frost on the sage. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's just frost on the ground. So it's a beautiful thing here in the high desert. It's kind of like last year. It's been a little dry this November, which doesn't have overly concern because last winter, we had record-breaking amounts of snow. So I'm not too concerned about that because things can change on a dime. And that's something that kind of leads me into my message for Thanksgiving is throughout the scriptures, the Lord, one of his most important things that he talks about is the action verb to remember. And as I was looking through some of my weather records, I realized just how merciful and how even in the dry years, back in 2020, we had a really dry year, but right when everyone was ready to break, we received the rains in September. We went 3 months without a single drop of rain. And it was June 9th to September 9th. And that was a very dry summer. And to make matters worse, it was already a bad winter to the previous year. So anyways, that was something that I was looking at, and then looking at the amazing amount of snow that we received last year. It just made me thankful, but also grateful. And there's a difference between the two words. Thankful is the act of acknowledging or expressing and verbalizing, I should say. And then gratitude is the action part. It's the doing. So what is it that it's one thing to be thankful, but what are you going to do to show gratitude? And to me, that's an important thing, because in a world where people are more and more selfish and just wanting to do what they think is right, it's important to, with all the technology and communication, there's never been more people feeling alone and isolated. And so it's one of those things of, for me, and my challenge to you is to show your thankfulness, your gratitude through kindness and service to others. And by doing so, it changes not only you, but the person receiving that act of kindness or service. And so I know for me, it's been a challenging year, but something I've always circled back to, and that was reaffirmed to me just a few months ago, was that there's people willing to help, and you're not alone. And sometimes, and I think this is a very important thing, especially in a world that's so busy and full of noise and distraction, is taking the time to be still and to listen, and be willing to not brush aside those thoughts or those feelings, and then to even take a leap forward and not have that fear to follow through, or for whatever that thoughts or impression is, because that's also something. It's one thing to receive or have that thought come to your mind or heart, but then second, to follow through and make that initial step of contact, or whatever it may be, telephone, text, an actual like in-person visit, because we're all in this together. And as much as the world elites and everybody else, unseen powers, want to make us feel separate, and that there's no hope and there's only just despair, that's not the case. And sometimes, I'm a father of 5. I might see things that my children need, but I'm going to wait to see how they respond and if they can do it. And maybe they start doing it, but then they realize that they're kind of way in over their head. And then me, as the father, I step in. Sometimes I just step in because I need to, but sometimes I wait for them to come to me. And I think that's a lot how in our life is. And what's amazing to me is, I just had an incident that happened, that sometimes angels don't come in with a flash of light and dressed in white, but they come in on horseback with dirty boots and Wranglers. And they're some of the most unassuming people, but the most down-to-earth, salt-of-the-earth people that you've ever met. And I love that phrase of salt, because it's preserving. It's the preserving action, like agent. And back in thousands of years ago, it was just as valuable as gold for its qualities and characteristics that salt possessed. So yeah, so that's my challenge to you, is to be thankful, but to show gratitude, and take the time to recognize when it is that you need to be of help to somebody, but then when you receive that help, to be thankful and to then show that gratitude. And more important, like I said at the beginning, is to remember. And I don't write everything down, but there's certain things I do write down, and it's amazing how quickly you forget certain details. So also to, if you're feeling up to it, write those things down, because you'll be glad you did. And so I hope that as we go into the Christmas season, that you'll take the time to be grateful and to serve others and to show kindness as well, because we need it now more than ever. And I hope that you'll continue to join me as I go on this adventure of rebuilding the family ranch, now 5th generation. and hopefully being able to preserve it for many years to come, and also that I can be your ticket to help escape the ordinary and find out just what it's like to live the high life here in the high desert of the Intermountain West, only on the High Desert Ranch channel.